All right, guys. Thanks for being here. We're really excited to make this announcement today. I know it's a bit unorthodox, but still, thank you very much for being here. I'm Brian Mcgann, and I'm our director of communications for the Mavericks. Those I've worked with the past couple seasons, welcome. If I haven't, thank you for being here. The way this is going to work is once Brent, Lamar, and Tad O'Had have made the remarks, we're going to follow a media priority to make sure this runs smoothly. And this order will go as follows. We have Bill Althouse with the Examiner, KNBC, 810 WHB, the Mavs Insiders, Jason Ketz with 610 Sports, Fred Liggett, the KC Star, and then Lydia Taylor with the Mavericks. If someone isn't here when we call on you, we'll move on so we can keep this rolling. We're asking that you only use audio during the video call so we can make sure we aren't using too much bandwidth. Have your microphone on mute if you're not asking a question. And once the media priority is complete, we'll open things up for open questioning. Identify yourself along with your outlet, and then feel free to ask your question along with a follow-up. Thank you again for your support and coverage of Mavericks hockey. With that, I would like to introduce our president and general manager, Brent Thiessen.
Thank you, Brian. Great to be here today. Thank you all for jumping on and being with us here today. This is a first for me. I'm sure for many of you as well. So I appreciate your patience and obviously support through the process here. I hope everybody is healthy out there and safe. And all of our best to each of you and your families, and we're looking forward to hitting the ice again, hopefully in October. The reason we're here today, of course, is to announce our fifth head coach in Kansas City Mavericks history, and we're thrilled about Tad O'Had today, and in a moment you're going to be able to speak to him. But before that, I would like to thank Cole Schultz and Jeff Volkman for what they've done over the past last half season in stepping up. We made a coaching change in January, as you know. We felt that the direction of this club needed to we needed to go into a new direction, and obviously the results that we had last year were unacceptable to us as a franchise, and we felt we needed to make a change. I made that change and started this process in the end of January, which seems like about 5 years ago now already. But at the end of January, we started looking for the next head coach for the Mavericks, and in doing so, quickly identified Tad as a candidate that we wanted to speak with. I flew down to Florida, met with Tad, had a great opportunity to get to know Tad, the person. I've, of course, seen his resume and seen the things that he's been able to accomplish in Florida, and really enjoyed my time with him. I continued the process, spoke with several coaches, many talented individuals, and continued that process until we got to a point where we had to hit the pause button for what is going on around us, and in everybody's safety and best interest. We took a momentary pause. And then we felt as though we needed to resume as our season was canceled. Everything was a little bit expedited in the sense of discussions regarding next season and planning for that. So we picked up the process and continued those discussions with our top candidates. Got even more comfortable with Tad. I think you're going to find that he is incredibly prepared. He's incredibly ready for this opportunity that's in front of him. And I think when you look at the resume that he has, I think it speaks for itself. The last 4 seasons as an associate head coach in Florida in a successful organization has really made him ready for this opportunity. I think one of the things that everybody's going to find, and of course I'll let him speak for himself, is that we are going to be a fast or a hard hockey team to play against, and there's not going to be alternatives. And from that standpoint, I'm very excited about the direction that we're going to be going. I'm excited about the culture that Tad is going to be bringing, and building upon what Cole started here in the middle of last season. So I think everybody's going to understand and see a gentleman that has great character. That was one of the first things that we looked for, and we were incredibly impressed with Tad and what he brings. His knowledge and experience, as well as the ability to attract top talent on the recruiting trail, is incredibly important, and something that we felt we needed to improve on. The culture of winning. You know, you look at where he's been, 6 of the past 7 seasons. They've been a playoff team in Florida, and again, his winning percentage of almost 700 again speaks volumes about the success that this guy brings and has been around. So we're excited to bring that here to Kansas City. And then, of course, I mentioned his style of play and the way that he wants to operate and handle the team. I think our fans are really in for a treat. I want to speak to the fans for a moment, and that is, we understand we had a difficult year last year. It was not the year that any of us wanted, and quite frankly, it was unacceptable. And you know, I've made it my mission to make sure throughout this process that we are getting a guy that is ready from day one to bring our franchise, return us to the playoffs. And return this franchise to an annual contender, and I believe I've done that, and he's here today. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to our owner, Lamar Hunt.
Well, first, let me say today, our thoughts and prayers are with those who have lost loved ones during this pandemic. We really cannot imagine, I think, the pain that some people are going through. And so I hope we turn our hearts there for a bit. I also want to give thanks for those who each day must go out to their jobs and serve us in so many varied ways. This includes those in healthcare and all of the other myriad of services we just take for granted. Those of us who move between home, where we find ourselves at work, and family, who we may see through a window, are forever indebted to you. And I bet we've got fans in that category for sure. Sports are not foremost in people's minds right now, but we do miss it. And I have to say, I personally look forward to the return of baseball and sort of sitting out in the outfield and enjoying that sort of timeless quality of that game. I also want to thank Cole Schultz, who served as our interim head coach, and also a shout out to John Scott Dixon for his 9 years of service, commitment, and sacrifice to the Mavs organization. This franchise and all who love it has been built on the shoulders of players, coaches, just like John Scott, and he was a very special person. This is a very pragmatic moment for the Mavericks, for we must get on with it and move to the next chapter in our pursuit for a championship, but also in continuing to build an experience that our fans will continue to treasure, our sponsors will continue to see value in, and that we give back to the community some of what the community has definitely given us. We also need to continue to grow the brand in Kansas City and let people know about this well-kept secret in Independence, Missouri, and eastern Jackson County. We turned our lens, and this sort of meant to us that we needed a dynamic and focused leader on the ice with a team that desires to win and be part of a community. Tad O'Had is such a coach, a mentor, a motivator, and an energizer, that's a word that Brent and I know, who by his own admission will push all of us to get there. He has already apologized for being too tough and too direct. Now remember, he has warned us ahead of time. Tad is connected to all levels of the hockey world, and this head coaching job is a natural progression for him. He has simply earned the right and opportunity by his resume, his passion, his reputation, and relentlessness. The thing that most impressed me with his insight into the man was the thing that impressed me the most in his interview process was his insight into the management of the salary cap and the value of what we see on the ice. This is a true balancing act in the ECHL, for we tend to serve many masters, including our affiliate, free agency, trades, and young men who, quite frankly, want to be the best at what they do, and they're looking for the next opportunity. We believe that Tad can manage this balancing act in a mature and thoughtful manner. He sees the big picture, has his head wrapped around that picture, and speaks the language of all things hockey. And he, and this is a big one, has a heart to see people grow and get better at their jobs. As I said, he will hold us all accountable. So thus is it my pleasure to introduce all of you to our new head coach, Tad O'Had, the newest Maverick. Thank you.
First off, I would just like to thank everyone for attending. I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy. I echo Lamar's words on the healthcare community and those that are helping us get through these tired times. A brighter time lies ahead. I'm honored and humbled to be named the head coach of the Kansas City Mavericks. I personally want to thank Mr. Lamar Hunt and Brent Thiessen for their detailed and personal approach through this process. These have been trying times. This has been a difficult time to go through this, and at no time have I not seen their passion and love for the Kansas City Mavericks and Mav country. I'd also like to thank John Scott Dixon. As Lamar stated, he spent 9 years within the program and has done so many great things. It's difficult being a hockey coach, but he's done it very well. He's continued to help the Mavericks on and off the ice, and I want that to be noticed. Additionally, Cole Schultz, I have spent close to 8 hours over the past few days speaking with him, and I've been utterly impressed in every facet. His detail, his approach, his candor, his intelligence. It's no wonder that he's had success at Bemidji State, University of Maine, the Stockton Heat, and the Kansas City Mavericks. And he's been nothing but a help to me, and I look forward to working with him in the future and having success. Through this process, it's been apparent that the Kansas City Mavericks and the community are an impressive organization supported by an impressive community. I've been impressed not only by the love Lamar Hunt has for the organization and the community, but the detailed approach that Brent Thiessen and the entire front office of the Kansas City Mavericks have. I had the pleasure of meeting all of them online the other day, and you can tell that the atmosphere is contagious. I've been drawn to the Kansas City community through its passion for sport, from the success of the Kansas City Chiefs to Sporting KC to the Kansas City Royals. Through my time in the ECHL the past 7 years, I've come in contact with many players that have played for the Kansas City Mavericks, and I must tell you that every single word that they've uttered has been nothing but excellence. Rocco Carzo, the team captain for many years who recently retired, he started his career in Florida, and I've enjoyed watching him have his success in Kansas City. He recently reached out to me last evening, and he continued to echo his love for Kansas City. Additionally, players Josh Robinson, an excellent goaltender with the Kansas City Mavericks, I've had the pleasure of working with as a goaltending coach, and he raves about his love and excitement for the Kansas City Mavericks. Additionally, players like Matt Finn, David Drzezinski, Bryce Anilowski, and Mike Piatek have all echoed the same statement. What a great organization. What a great culture. The Orange Army, Mavs country. It's a great place to be. I've been drawn to the Kansas City community, the passion, the excitement, the Orange Army, and Mavs hockey. This is a place that I am honored and humbled to be, and I'm excited to continue to get started working. Our goal is simple: build a successful, winning culture that embodies the Kansas City community and mindset. Our players will possess speed, character, and grit. They will be expected to play fast, play hard, play heavy. It will not be enough just to be a good hockey player. It will be expected to be more than just a hockey player. Our players are expected to be exceptional ambassadors in the Kansas City community, on and off the ice, with class, dignity, and passion. Our players are expected to invest in the community and give back with a relentless pursuit of excellence on the ice and off the ice. It is not enough just to be a good hockey player. They must be ambassadors and give back to our community. It is our job as an organization to honor the game. And that's why my job and our staff's job is to create a contagious excitement and culture for Mavs country. I cannot begin to tell you the excitement I have for the Orange Army and all the positives that I've heard about the community, the support, and the excitement around Mavs hockey. Our job is to build excellence, and that's excellence on the ice by developing talented players for our affiliate, the Calgary Flames and Stockton Heat. Additionally, that is by providing our players with the knowledge and tools to advance their careers. And this is very important to me. It is very important to honor the game, and you honor the game by creating a winning culture on and off the ice, 60 minutes every night. With that said, also honoring the players. I've had no less than 250 players reach out to me in the past day, excited about me becoming the head coach of the Kansas City Mavericks. That does not fall on me lightly. One of my greatest enjoyments is working and developing hockey players, providing them the tools to help them continue their path on to the AHL, NHL, or Europe. And we will do that through a systematic approach. Cole and I are excited. We are both very detailed. We both are passionate students of the game, and that will be required from our players. A pro mindset is what we look for in our players. And it's not enough just to be a good hockey player. You've got to have pro habits on and off the ice. In hydration, nutrition, supplementation, sleep patterns, strength and conditioning, your ability to watch video, your ability to learn, ask questions, and how you conduct yourself. We are looking for hockey players that are looking to advance their careers and be the very best they can and don a Mavericks sweater. And we are currently doing that. We are in that process currently. And how we're going to do that is through retainment, recruitment, and revitalization. Retainment. We're going to look for our kind of guy, OKG, our kind of guy. And we're going to retain the Mavericks that we believe have that mindset and are going to make Mav country and the Orange Army proud. Recruitment. We will look and continue to recruit all the top talents we can through the college ranks in Canada, NCAA, major, junior, or Europe. No stone will be unturned. We'll continue to look for the best talent out there. We'll continue to make our affiliate proud, Stockton Heat and the Calgary Flames, by working with their talented players and helping advance their careers on and off the ice so they can matriculate up the ladder, hopefully onto the NHL. And finally, revitalization. We want to create a contagious excitement that our Orange Army loves coming to the game every night, and understanding that Mavs country is an exciting brand of hockey on the ice and off the ice, and we pack the arena night in, night out. Additionally, I'd like to thank the Mavs front office, who has tirelessly continued to do a great job in these times. These are difficult times. However, talking with them the other day, I've been so impressed by their love and passion for the Kansas City Mavericks, and they're continuing to work and do the very best they can at home. And I appreciate that, and I'm so impressed by them. Mr. Lamar Hunt, Brent Thiessen, Cole Schultz, I cannot begin to thank you for welcoming me in and treating me as part of the family. I cannot wait to get started. Lastly, I'd like to sincerely thank the Florida Everblades for providing me this opportunity. I went to Craig Brush when this position opened up, and I had asked for his support and blessing to talk with the Kansas City Mavericks. Over my past 7 years in Florida, I have been nothing but grateful for all of that they have provided me. Mr. Brush has looked out for me through thick and thin, and I cannot thank him enough. Additionally, Coach Brad Ralph, he's a great mentor of mine, a great friend, and he has helped me become a better coach every single year. He's a very talented coach, and I wish him nothing but the very best going forward, and I am better coach because of him. Additionally, Greg Poss, I had spent my first 3 years coaching under Greg Poss, and he provided me the opportunity to begin my professional career. These three men have been incredible mentors in my maturation and development as a coach, and I cannot begin to thank them enough. Additionally, the Everblade staff, night in, night out, they've done an excellent job to make everything work in Florida, and they've always supported me, and I want to thank them. And lastly, the Everblades fans. The Everblades fans have been nothing short of phenomenal to me, and I want to thank them for my time over the years. Lastly, I want to thank the players that have made this possible. Probably one of my greatest loves is working with players and developing their talents. As I stated, I've had countless players reach out to me over the past couple days, excited for this job opportunity. So many of them well wishes, telling great stories of the past. I want to thank them because they are the ones that make this job enjoyable, and they are the reason why I continue to do this job. In closing, October can't come fast enough. I look forward to seeing the Orange Army and helping continue the great tradition that is Maverick hockey. I look forward to seeing everybody in Kansas City supporting the Kansas City Mavericks this year. It's going to be a great season. Thanks again, and I am so honored and humbled to be the new head coach of the Kansas City Mavericks.
Thank you very much, Tad. So we're going to open it up for questions now. Obviously, we will follow our media priority. I'll call your name twice. If you're not there, we'll move on. Reminder, make sure that your microphone isn't muted, and we'll get this rolling. Mavs Insiders.
Hey, Coach. Joe Rosicki with the Mavs Insiders. First of all, welcome to Kansas City. You mentioned earlier that you have a high priority in player development. My question for you is, how do you find that balance between developing players but also, putting a winning product on the ice?
That's an excellent question. First and foremost, it is a balancing act. The ECHL is a balancing act. First and foremost, all players, from a player advancement and development standpoint, is we're going to have a 360 model, and that model means on and off the ice. So not only from on-ice skill development, on-ice positional skill development, off-ice strength and conditioning, video, but also creating the culture. And so the balance is this, is that my job is to honor our players. Cole Schultz and I, our job is to honor the players by giving them the tools and working with them to advance their careers and make them the best player possible. In addition, they'll honor us back by being attentive listeners, helping execute the game plan, and creating a contagious environment on the ice and playing within our system. To be able to do that, we're able to have team success. And so, first and foremost, my job is to help these young men matriculate their careers onto the AHL and NHL. And you know what? I'll be the last one off the ice. We'll do whatever we can to help these players get better. And that's going to come in a variety of ways. And it's going to come in a lot of difficult conversations. Honesty is going to be key. I'm going to talk with the players, and it's very simple. We can tell them what they need to hear, what they want to hear, or what they'd like to hear. At the end of the day, we've got to embrace the difficult conversations. And at the end of the day, we're going to put the best team on the ice that's going to give us the best advantage to win every night. But the ECHL is the ever-changing hockey league. There are so many changes. So one night a player might be in the stands. The next night he might be on a 5-game point streak. And so regardless, players in the lineup or out of the lineup, We will be attentive to them, and we will work with them and give them every aspect to improve their game, to advance their career.
Great, thanks, Coach. My other question is for Brent. Brent, there was obviously a lot of interest in this position. What was it about Coach O had that sold you on him?
Well, first and foremost, I think it was very telling for me because I did my research, I did my homework. We had a lot of applicants, as you can imagine, and quite honestly, a lot of great applicants. And I started the process of doing my homework on them, and Tad obviously is a guy that we wanted to speak with. And going down to Florida, I wasn't sure what to think. I didn't know a lot about him. I could see his resume, I could see his success. Comes from a great franchise, but I didn't know a lot about him, the individual. And we had an opportunity to go to dinner and spend some time together. And very honestly, I was struck by the person that he is, the passion that he has for the game, the passion he has for what he does, and it was contagious. And how prepared he was for that meeting really struck me as well. He's a great character guy, and there's. He handles himself very, very well. So I think leaving that meeting was certainly, it was a real tell for me, because I left that meeting feeling like we had a real winner here, and somebody that could step in right away and get this franchise to where we need to be. And I think, just to elaborate on that, the Kansas City Mavericks, having been here for all 11 years, this is a proud franchise. This is a franchise that has a tradition of being competitive. And, we haven't necessarily achieved that the last couple of years of being where we want to be. And I know that last year was a disappointment to a lot of people as far as on the ice goes. And so, what I wanted to accomplish was to find somebody that could hit the ground running and immediately make an impact. And I can honestly tell you that from the moment that I sat down with Tad, he immediately made an impact on me. And from there, we were able to further those discussions. And he continued to be the most prepared candidate that we saw. And somebody that, quite honestly, is ready for this challenge. He knows the position we're in, and he's ready to take it head on. And I'm thrilled for him. I'm thrilled for the Mavericks. I'm thrilled for Lamar, our staff, our fans, because he's the right guy for the job.
Great, thank you, Brent.
LT, go ahead.
Hi, Tad. Again, congratulations. So you have mentioned the word contagious multiple times. We've seen Kansas City sports fans rally around these contagious type teams that you're talking about. 2015-14 Royals, this year's Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs. How do you intend to create that contagious atmosphere between your team that will in return attract sports fans across the KC Metro?
Yes, that's an excellent question. First and foremost, it starts in-house. It starts with the staff. It starts with the coaching staff of just being able to put in work every day, coming to the office with a great attitude. There's two things that I can demand from everybody, from the players, and that's effort and attitude. And so the moment you walk into the room every day, you're control of the vibe, and we have to take ownership of that vibe. Whether the players are having a bad day or not, they've got to understand that when they come to work, that they own their effort and attitude. And that's a no matter what. Additionally, when you continue to get the group of players with that type of mindset, then you know what? We're going to work extremely hard on and off the ice. Again, a 360 model. And so we want to develop professionals, just not professional hockey players, but we want to get them to understand what are the intangibles that are going to help them advance their career. And so we're going to educate them on many aspects, from strength and conditioning to skill development, video, so forth. The other thing is we want to understand how we're going to attack adversity, because this is a 72-game season. We're going to have adversity. How are we going to attack it? We can't just hang our heads. We can't just get frustrated. We're going to continue to have a workman's mindset. And so first and foremost, we've got to retain the right guys. We've got to retain the guys that buy in and that are willing to bring that type of mindset and work ethic every day. 2, we've got to continue to recruit the top talent. And you know what? Flat out, we've got to continue to raise our expectations. The players that we want are players that are basically on the cusp of playing in the AHL or being top-end ECHL players, and we've got to go and land some of that top talent. We've got to have a relentless mindset, a relentless work ethic. And that isn't something that is just wordplay. Every single day, we've got to come to work. And additionally, we've got to make it fun for the guys. We've got to get them to understand that, yeah, this league can be a grind. The season can be a grind, but we're going to have it be a fun atmosphere. And to be honest with you, Kansas City Mavericks, the Orange Army, they're a huge reason why this is such a great place to play. The feedback about Kansas City is incredible from its players. And that's one of the hardest things right there, to have the fan base that Kansas City has, the Orange Army, to have the facilities, the ownership, the operational staff that Kansas City has. These are incredible things. And so we've got to continue to really go out, work to get the right players, and then through that process, mold them throughout the year. And we can't back down from challenges. We've got to understand that adversity is a good thing. Adversity is going to introduce ourselves. And throughout the season, we've got to continue to build. So come April, we're ready to go into the playoffs playing our best hockey.
Thank you, Coach. Now, my second question is for you again, and I want to talk about that Kansas City community that you mentioned. You have made it clear in the couple conversations, I've been able to be on and listen to you, that community involvement is important to you. You ask your players to be a hockey player plus. Why is that such an important aspect of your coaching style, asking your players to be, more than just a hockey player?
First of all, I think everyone needs to understand that that in a community like Kansas City that is so supportive and really rabid about their sports, that it's not enough just to come to the rink every day and play hockey. One, you have to honor the game. And by honoring the game, you give back to the game. Every single one of those players, whether they're from British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Massachusetts, Michigan, Florida, they've had people look out for them along the way. And I'm no different than that. And so it is vital for our players to be ambassadors. It's vital for our players to do more than just play hockey. You've got to take ownership in your community. And I think that's even more important in the ECHL. We have some incredible organizations in this league. And even more importantly, the time in which that we're in right now, these are unprecedented times. These are challenging times for so many people. And it's not enough for, a fan to pay their hard-earned dollars to come to the game and then just watch players just play hockey, play a game. It is not lost on me that I'm very lucky to coach a child's game. We are very lucky to work in the sports industry. And so we need to honor the game. We need to honor the Kansas City community. And when our players take the ice, they need to have a workman's mentality.
Thank you.
Barry, from ECHL Week.
Hi, Tad. My question is for you. You spent 4 years with a pretty good and successful coach with Brad Ralph. Ralphie, have any sage words of wisdom as you were walking out the door?
I've been very fortunate to spend the past 4 years with Ralphie. He's an exceptional coach that knows the ECHL through and through his time in Idaho and then through his success in Florida. You want to know what? I've been picking Ralphie's brain since the day he got to Florida. He's an excellent mentor. He's an excellent coach. He's been extremely supportive of me moving on as a head coach. There will be things that I take the rest of my coaching career that I've learned with him. You know, personally, his friendship and his mentor means so much to me. He's a coach that will go on and have great success at the American Hockey League level and beyond. I think some of the things that he really taught me is, one, always raising the expectations, you know, with regards to talent and players, continuing to find the best talent out there, not just being comfortable with where the players are at, but always looking for, you know, the best talent. Two, I think he's exceptional with creating culture amongst the room, creating a winning environment. He's arguably probably the most competitive person I've ever met. And with that said, that fuels him, and that is a great successful trait that I will carry on. Between Craig Brush and Brad Ralph, both of those, additionally Greg Poss, I've had 3 excellent mentors that have really helped me to be ready for this position. And I cannot thank them enough.
Thanks, Ted.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Really excited. Thank you, Lamar, Brent, and Tad. We will have, I know Tad's going to do some one-on-ones now, but please let me know if you need media access for interviews with Tad or Brent. We'll be around until the end of business today. Tad is on East Coast time, so remember that if you're planning on reaching out, set up an interview with him. But anyway, with that, we'll wrap this up. Thank you very much, guys.